Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Igor. This is Michael from the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT. I just listened to your integrated speaking practice test number 15. So I think you're in pretty good shape. Now, the only thing you didn't say, you said something like the man's having trouble preparing for his biology test, but in the very beginning, according to the conversation, the man just took a first test. He took his first biology test in the class and didn't do very well, right? And that is kind of what causes the beginning of the conversation, and the woman begins offering him suggestions. Now, also something you didn't mention, you can probably mention, is the woman is asking the man how he prepared for the test, and the man says he studied the chapter, reviewed his notes, he asked himself a few questions, practiced answering them, and then made some written responses. And of course, according to the conversation, that didn't go well, which is why, Igor, the woman gave him the suggestions that you did. So in terms of explaining what the woman said, I think you're in pretty good shape, right? You didn't miss any ideas there, but I think you might have missed, I think, some important points from the man's perspective. So having said that, let's take a look at your score here. So I'm going to say you'll probably score in the 2 range. Your response is incomplete. You have omitted some key ideas from the conversation, especially from the man's point of view. So be careful. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, I only have 60 seconds to answer this question. But I think there are at least 2 important things that you should have mentioned from the man's experience of taking the exam. And because you left those out, that's probably going to cause you to score a little bit lower. You're also having some slight problems with pronunciation that you want to try to work on a little bit more. And one of the things Nate's probably told you is tone. You definitely need to work on your tone a little bit, work on varying your tone. So you have a tendency when you're speaking, you're kind of equally stressing all words in the actual conversation when you're speaking. So one thing I want you to take a look at, Igor, is go back to my 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT website, my membership website. I want you to go to the Speak Clearly section and take a look at the area called sentence rhythm. I think there's like 3 lessons in there called sentence rhythm, and remember that this is a combination of what's called stressing and unstressing certain words. For example, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and verbs, these words are stress words. And then determiners, auxiliary verbs, and prepositions, these are considered unstressed words. So you want to make sure that you're stressing certain words more than others, and even within that, you have to make one of the stressed words a little bit louder than the rest of the words in that particular sentence. So in addition to sentence rhythm, you have to work a little bit on your tone also, and you'll notice also I do have some lessons that focus on intonation that can kind of get you going a little bit in the right direction there. Now, have you ever considered singing? It might sound crazy to you, but singing in a new language is a great way to work on some of the problems that you're having right now. What do? Go to the internet, to Google, whatever. You're on the internet now listening to me, right? Go on the internet, maybe find some songs, download them, and then find the words to those songs, and then practice singing the songs in English, right? Practice singing them. And that helps you work on your pacing, your tone, and a lot of other areas important to helping you improve your intelligibility of American English. So your score here, based on some of the things I talked about, I'm going to put you at about 2.66 out of 4 or 20 points out of 30 on this particular speaking practice test. Alrighty?